What?
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 Everyone just keeps saying what?
Was that?
What?
Was
What?
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 What are we talking about?
I don't know. What
This
are we
is
talking
going
about?
to be amazing.
Lol.
Welcome to a very special 100th episode of Two Titans and a Hunter, Destiny 2 podcast, a show where we discuss tips, tricks, and tools to help Guardians succeed and enjoy playing more. What makes us different? Well, we are not streamers or YouTubers. We just have a passion for Destiny and are dedicated to keep Guardians informed and up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 information, news, and options. We encourage your questions and feedback. You can contact us by email twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com or on Twitter at twotitans_hunter. Now on with the show.
Hello and welcome to the show. I am Indiana, and on my left is Fenix the Demon, and on my right, not houndish, Nitedemon. On the other side of the pond, we have No One Responds in Real Life, joined by his handler, KillerAlex, and the one and only pink-panted Titan Peroty. Now over to KillerAlex with what's happening in Destiny next week.
Next week in Destiny, the dawning continues. Spread cheer far and wide. Enjoy boosted infamy all week long.
All right.
Enter the Exodius Black and the Exodius Crash Nightfall the Ordeal. Shax brings Clash to the Crucible. Don't know really how I think about any of those things because, personally, I don't really do that stuff that much, so don't know my opinion on it.
You don't do the dawning? Wait, no, you absolutely do the Crucible. What are you talking about?
Well, I don't remember what Clash is off the top of my head.
Oh, that's
Parody?
why we have
What's
Parody
that?
around.
Yeah, Clash is where you jump into Crucible and murder people. That's it. That's all I have to do. Only objective, find the man, shoot the man, find the man again, shoot him again.
There you go. No objectives, no nothing. Just
Sounds fun.
your score is based on how many people you can kill.
Have you
Sounds
two got
fun.
any questions about what Clash is, or any questions for Parody regarding Crucible while we've got him here?
I don't know.
That's helpful.
When's the Iron Banner coming back?
Probably about 3 weeks from now. Whenever your dad starts to get really excited, you'll know it's coming back.
I mean, 3 more podcasts later.
Yes.
Pretty much, yep. Whenever you start hearing your dad talk about something called the Iron Burden, that's when you know it's coming.
Don't you mean the Iron Banana?
No, I mean the Iron Burden, because the Iron Burden is a title that your father earned, and he takes an unusual amount of pride in that title.
Yes, he does. So, welcome, listeners, to our 100th episode. And for some crazy reason, we came up with the idea of having our children on the show. Now, unfortunately, Parody doesn't own any children. He couldn't
Oh.
find any children. Last minute. So I've had to provide 2 to respawn to 1, unfortunately. So one of mine is standing in for Parody, really. You
Phoenix
can
does
choose
it.
Phoenix, yeah. Phoenix is standing in for Parody.
Oh, really?
Hi, Parody. Hi, Daddy.
I'm not really here. You're me.
No, was there a comma between those two statements?
No, he's calling Parody his father.
Well, mind you, we've been meaning to tell you there's a little secret we've been keeping from you, and
That's fine.
Hot tips this week on the show. Parody is actually Phoenix's father.
I was just thinking that's one less set of presents I have to buy for the child, and we're good.
No.
Something I need to have.
Provided the genetic material, you have to provide the life material, bro. Sorry. That was the trade-off.
So this week we don't have a
He
this
just
week at
skips
Bungie.
right over that.
We are skipping right over that. We don't have a this week. We don't have a this week
I
at
have
Bungie.
I have one question.
God,
What?
we'll start with
Do we
questions.
have not off?
Not
Well, not
Arf,
Arf.
yes, but he's not
He's got
actually
lots of Christmas stuff to do, unfortunately. So he's got shopping and
Putting
shopping
the Christmas
and more shopping to probably do.
shopping.
Yes. And Not Arf did try and record, or he was trying to get one of his children to record some lore this week.
I've got a 10-year-old, well, 9-year-old child in front of me, and an hour whether she wants to read some lore or not.
This is
Nice.
amazing.
I already tell it's going to be great.
Big fan,
yeah,
big fan.
As I said, we've got no this week at Bungie to discuss,
Mhm.
but there have been some Polygon articles for us to have a look through and discuss with our children, I guess. You know, to get their opinions, their hot takes on what's happening with Destiny.
Nice.
So, do you want to lead us in with the first article, Respawn?
Sure. All right. So Destiny 2's older subclasses could, in fact, get an upgrade. What does this mean to the general public? Basically, it means the Destiny 2 powers that be have hinted that our current light-based subclasses are going to get a facelift to make them more like our darkness subclass. What do I mean by that? Well, back in Destiny 1, for all of you that haven't played Destiny 1, you had 3 subclasses still, but they were basically just how can I put this? You know how on your weapons you have different perks you can pick on your weapons, right? Or imagine a whole subclass with like, God, how many do we have? Like 30 different options? I think.
Yeah.
It was a lot of different options you could click. There were many different columns, and in each column you could click one thing. I think there were 10 columns. Each column had like 3 or 4 options in that column, right? And you can customize your subclass to do all kinds of different things based on whichever perks you picked in each column, okay? Kind of like we do now with the darkness subclass with the aspects and this and that and the other, right? Not quite the same, a little different. So basically, there's rumors in the mill right now that our light subclasses are going to get a similar rework as our current darkness subclass did, right? Or not did, but like our current darkness subclass is. And there might even be some supers that just go away entirely. For example, like Warlock. You know, the Warlock has a Nova Bomb top tree, Nova Bomb bottom tree, and then your kind of middle tree, which is like the burst thing.
It's just the roaming super for Warlock.
Yeah, it's a completely different style of super. So it's been hinted that, like, for example, that middle tree Warlock Void super would go away, and then you'd just be left with the Void super, but you'd have many different options to change how that Void super functions, you know, and also, you know, different aspects that choose how your grenade functions, how your melee functions, how if you heal, you know, do you eat your grenade? Do you throw your grenade and it splits? Do you throw your grenade and it makes a big void grenade? You know, whatever, right? Kind of like what we do right now with the darkness. So that's basically what that article covers. You can go back and read it if you want to. It is a Polygon article, like he said, and it's called Destiny 2's older subclasses could get an upgrade eventually. Now, in hearing that, Alexander, how do you feel about some of your supers maybe possibly going away?
I'm fine because I personally dislike Middle Tree Void on Warlock.
But what if they took away something that you did like, right? Like, are there any of the new subclasses you like? Like, okay, Middle Tree Arc. That's just a Kamehameha wave in lieu of, like, the lightning fingers. What if they took the Kamehameha away?
I mean, I think a couple different people would dislike it because a lot of people like using that for DPS.
Yeah, I mean, that's my
personally
personal
never
favorite
use it.
overall. So I'd be heartbroken personally, but you're just okay with some of these supers going away? Just kind of meh?
Well, not the Middle Tree Arc, because I personally think it's kind of funny to just shoot a giant arc beam while floating in the air.
Nice. And what do you think about the rework? So instead of the 3 trees that you have now for the light-based, what do you think it would be better if that went from a tree system to an artifact system like we have with the Dark? Which do you prefer?
I think the artifact system with the dark would be a little bit better because then you wouldn't be bound to certain things for if you want more or less a Slova bomb, but you want your grenade to split instead of get stronger.
All right. Well done. Anything else you want to talk about on the subject before we give it over to the other children?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Phoenix, what's your word on the matter, buddy?
I wouldn't
Or,
like
I'm
it if
sorry.
they had one subclass.
What do you mean by one subclass? You mean like one subclass overall or one subclass per element?
One per element.
Ah, okay. And why would you like that better than the 3 tree system that we have now?
There's different options to choose from. Like, if you just had one, you'll get bored. You switch to the other one, you get bored. The other one, you get bored. And then you can't use any. You
That's
get
true.
bored of them.
But what happened? Okay, so let's say you just want the one subclass for each element-based ability, right? What happens if that trade-off means you might end up losing one of your favorite supers? You still be okay with it?
No.
No? What's your favorite super to use, Phoenix?
Blade Barrage.
Ooh, see, that's actually a good one, right? Because Blade Barrage is the one that's different from the rest of the Hunter Golden Gun tree, right? So if the rumors are true, that one would be the one to go away, and all that would be left is customization of the Golden Gun tree to do different things, right? So if what you wanted came true, you might end up losing Blade Barrage, but it could make Golden Gun better overall. How do you think about that?
No.
No? You want the 3 trees system back then?
Yes.
Well, that was fast.
Indiana, have you got any opinions on this? So would you like it if they took away the Blade Barrage and just left you with the Golden Gun? Would you like having to do both of them? You have the choice of you can do that one or that one.
I like having both of them.
But you just said you swapped to doing the Void.
Yeah.
So you like going invisible
Yeah.
with the Night Stalker.
I tell you what, I would love to be able to have bottom tree tether with top tree dodge invisibility. Oh,
That would be kind of too good because then you wouldn't have to throw stuff at your feet every time you want to go invisible.
sir, your opinion is rejected. That would not be too good. That would be the perfect amount of good. Okay?
Saying that because you like that subclass on that tree.
Yeah, so? Doesn't mean anything.
It's all about the balance, really. Regardless of whether we like to pair something with something else,
Mhm.
like we had with Destiny 1, where you could just pick and choose a lot. There was a lot more variation with how you could build your subclass. At the moment, if they did that, I think it would break the game completely with how they've tried to rework it with the aspects and fragments. I think what Bungie need to do is take a step back and listen to the community, because I think the community want to keep the different subclasses with the different abilities, and they should treat the light subclasses differently to how they treat the dark subclasses. And I think the dark subclasses should work with the aspects and fragments, and maybe they could build into somehow a light version of that, where we could then eventually get back to being like Destiny 1, where you could select different nodes to then build a different way of how you play. Like you were saying, Respawn, if you could put the invisibility with the bottom tree Night Stalker would be really good. So if they could incorporate that rather than taking things out, maybe slim down some of the choices to make them more viable across the board, rather than taking away the Void Warp and just leaving the Warlocks with the Nova Bomb. I think they need to incorporate all the aspects of the light into their subclasses, because when you're a Hammer Titan, you like to either throw hammer or you like to have that big hammer to smash down on the ground. And it depends on what you're playing, whether you're playing PvP or whether you're playing PvE. There are various different things that people gravitate towards when they're playing the PvP side to what they would then change to do PvE. You know, that like at the moment, we've got the stasis abilities are really rife in Crucible because they are very good at part of either neutral play or aggressive play. And I think that's what the light subclasses are kind of lacking in Crucible at the moment. They haven't been updated to kind of get people's interests back into them. People are, you know, like we've always said, interested in the new hotness, so they want to use something that they can use. That, you know, I think the Crucible is all about the gunplay, and the stasis really helps, you know, emphasize some of the plays that you can use with that, especially with these grenades and slamming down to the ground with the hunters. That's a fantastic thing. That's like taking a page out of the Titans book.
Right. And not just that, but the grenade wall, right? I can't tell you how many times I've used that grenade as a barrier instead of an attack, you know? It's such a handy tool. Hey, you want to freeze things and then blow them up? You know, ice wall grenade. Hey, you're getting messed over by 2 ogres in a 1280 Nightfall? Hey, ice wall grenade. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, but I think the thing is that in this article that we'll link in the show notes, that Luke Smith's quote has been kind of taken out of context of what he kind of wants for the game going forward. I think at the end of the day, I think what he wants to do is kind of really refine the supers to something similar to how we have in the Darkness.
Yeah,
you know, he says that at the moment the Hunter, the Warlock, and the Titan are kind of homogenous. And he's noted that revisiting the super system for these classes could provide a chance to hone them. But I think it's Polygon that have kind of taken it out of context. We're saying that
completely new modular customization system.
Yeah, and this is where Polygon kind of take over the talking. They say that Smith is talking about a classic Warlock super ability, Nova Bomb, and comparing it to the mediocre PvP only super, Nova Bomb. But it's not really a PvP only. People still use it in PvE. It's still something that people would still use. And he hasn't said that he's going to be cutting out Nova Warp. He was just talking about possibly, you know,
like a what if scenario.
A what if scenario. He didn't actually say that. And he then had to go back onto Reddit and explain himself later on and say, on a long enough time horizon, it sure would be sweet to have all the supers in Destiny use the same system. The stasis system is very cool and we like it. It's got more agency, flexibility, and freedom than Destiny 2 and Forsaken system with their interlocking perks. It feels more like a D1 in terms of agency, and I like that much more. So that's what we were saying. I think that's what they're trying to get back to, is this, that you can select your different nodes to create your own subclass, which is what I think from everybody said from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. Why did they lock people into you can only select one of 3 out of these 3 selections?
While you're on this topic, I want to say this because I will forget, right? We know how I am. Bungie has an opportunity here. They won't take it because we know how they are, but they have an opportunity to do something great with all the light-based subclasses, right? So let's take your Titan bubble, right?
Yeah.
If you press it, you get the Sentinel Shield and you got the roaming super that does whatever you want, right? But if you hold it, then it pops a bubble.
Yep.
So taking that and expanding it, right? So if they have the new modular system, right? And we're down to just the golden guns or just the Sentinel Shields or just the throwing hammers or whatever, right? Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that we do that, right? Instead of eliminating the new subclasses from each tree, make it so that you hold it instead, right? Let's say you got a throwing hammer, right? But if you're in the heat of battle and you decide, hey, I want the maul instead, well, you hold down your super and you get the maul instead of the throwing hammer. Or the hunter, right? Instead of, you know, jumping in the air and popping off the one tether, I hold it and now I have the roaming, you know, Night Stalker. You know, they have an opportunity where they can do something similar, something I think would be great, by allowing us to hold down a super to get a different functionality, like your current Void Titans can, right? Or at least the one subclass can. So that would be something good for them to look into when they're talking about modularization and, quote, getting rid of, you know, the non-IP supers or whatever, right? Something like that. Yeah.
I mean, Luke Smith goes on to further say, from a thematic creative perspective, it sure would be sweet if the classes had strong gameplay identities instead of some of the homogeny that is steadily emerging. That has steadily emerged. No plans to look at the classes homogeny right now, and many other things to focus on. So I think this is one of those things. I think I heard Paul Tassi talk about this on his YouTube channel. This is a developer spitball, just throwing out an idea. It's nothing that's actually in the works. It's just, in the grand scheme of things, we would have liked to get everything looking like this. But because we've got an old system of this is how we built Destiny 2 with these like subclasses, and this is the way we built them to start off with, we can't really go back to we can't suddenly insert, Destiny 1 supers into the game, because it would, there's lots of complications with that. So I think in the long-term goal perspective, he would like to get everything kind of looking nice and neat, like we've got the stasis. But yeah, like you said, it's it'd be really interesting that you could change supers on the fly, but still have them incorporated into that super. Peroty, if you've got any views on this?
No.
That was a great reason. I
mean, the only thing I was reading these articles going, so basically what you're going to say is we had good modular classes and subclasses in Destiny 1, you streamlined them and simplified them in Destiny 2, and now you want to go back to the way they were in Destiny 1. I see a theme developing.
Yeah, I mean, Destiny 1, by the end of Destiny 1, Peroty, it was a phenomenal game. That's why everybody had hopes for D2, which came out not Destiny, in my humble opinion, in the beginning, right?
No, it was absolutely Destiny. They had it mostly built. They scrapped 3/4 of it, then they put it out and said, it's kind of mostly there, just like they did with Destiny 1. So it's very authentically Destiny.
Yeah, the only
but
thing,
unfortunately, it's taken us 4 years.
Yeah,
it unfortunately it's taken us 4 years to get back to still not what we had at the end of D1.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair though, they are moving like you said more towards the RPG, and this I think it's a good step in the right direction. I, since day one, have hated the tree system. I've always hated it. We lost a lot of in-game functionality, in-game customization, in-game options as to how to attack and tackle different things, right? With the Vault of Glass coming back, right? Remember how you had to specifically tune your class with the Vault of Glass? That rhymed, didn't mean it, right? Hey,
if by tune your class, you mean put a bubble on and hope for the best? Yes.
Okay, maybe the Titans had it more simple, but other classes had to tune specifically for the Vault of Glass, and with that coming back, now we're left with stasis and these very static skill trees, right? And it makes me think of home, and we got Destiny 1 guns that have been coming back here and there the last 4 years, just give me my supers like we had it in D1. All right. The first column, what super do you want? Second column, what kind of grenade do you want? Third column, freaking how do you want your grenade to behave? Next column, how do you want your dodge well or wall to behave? Whatever. All these different things in one, just like D1, man. Just give me dots. I can fill in the dots, right? Don't give me 3 separate trees. Give me dots. I want dots. I need dots. Gotta have dots. All the dots.
So while we're talking about the supers and different things, there was another article Polygon released that was earlier than that. I think they released one on the 14th of December, the 16th, and then there's one on the 18th. So do you want to take us through Destiny 2's new ice powers will evolve in Year 4, Peroty?
So there's they're building out stasis and going to make it more modular. They're going to make it, they've given us the 6 fragments, the 2 aspects we can swap between, and now they're saying we're going to have more. And this is a reference that I figure Respawn might have a little more insight into, as I think Kevin Yanes called it the, quote, diet materia from Final Fantasy VII. Now, I played a little bit of Final Fantasy VII like a million years ago, back in the olden days, but I definitely didn't get that deep into it. is that just sort of like, the big branching tree of you have this, and then just like, this entire tree branch system breaks up, and you can go over here and unlock these parts and these parts and these parts?
You said Final Fantasy VII, right?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
So I guess,
No, that's more like
so I
a
guess
Final Fantasy IX kind of thing, right? Final Fantasy VII is you have weapons and you have armor, and these weapons and armor have slots in them, right?
Okay.
You have individual
so like what
slots.
we have now.
Yeah, you have individual slots, and then you have linked slots. An individual slot will just that materia, which is what he's talking about. Imagine a materia as a skill of some type. Okay, so each slot you could stick in a materia and gain a skill of some type, right? The linked slots would allow you to combine two aspects of a materia, right? So let's say you had the all materia and you had the heal materia in a linked slot, right? Well, in that particular instance, your heal, which normally you could only cast on one person at a time, now you can cast on everybody simultaneously, kind of thing, right? And you had X number of slots per different armors and weapons, depending on what they were, and things like that.
Marvelous. So basically, more of what we have now, not something like completely new and different.
As far as the armor goes, yes, but you also have those options on your weapons themselves too. Actually, no, we do have that. I'm an idiot. Yeah, exactly like what we have now. It gives us skills for weapons and armor. Yeah.
Marvelous. Yeah. So I mean, I'm excited with the direction they're taking it in. I'm happy always to get more of it because I enjoy. I would love to be able to take my gun and my armor and actually do something with it versus like, hey, here's a Warmind thing you can put in. You could do the light things that I still have yet to actually use or play with.
You should though. I mean, they've given it to you right now,
dear sir.
And I'm reaching out to you very specifically, Peroty. Right? They've given you the tools, and you are not taking advantage of the tools. Like for the longest time, I have all these.
But you can't make him put down the auto rifle.
Right? You can do stuff with the auto rifle, dude. Like, okay, all right.
Again, you're not wrong.
Too excited.
I listened to all the things about how I could and how I do and how I should.
Yeah.
And then I just don't and go, that seems like work. I don't want to do work. I just want to shoot people. I want to go over there, shoot the lads, walk over there, shoot different lads. That's it. Yeah. I don't want to think about this too hard.
Like the first time I started experimenting with them, it was all the whole stacks of light thing. And I really like it. I still like it. I still use it. And only very recently, and I am emphasizing the word very, have I discovered the awesomeness of the different stuff you can do with the Warmind stuff. Right? So, I mean, there's nothing to it but to just, like, try it out, dude. Try out, just put on, hey, I have this Warmind, I have the Aikilos, right? You put it on the submachine gun. Well, it has a chance to spawn a Warmind cell that detonates. Okay, I'm going to shoot it. Oh, holy crap, a lot of ads died. Well, on this piece of armor, I can add a thing called Global Reach, which extends the explosive radius. Holy crap. Everybody that I can see within this area is now dead, right? Just by shooting a Warmind cell. So, I mean, Destiny has given you the tools. You, sir, need to take them and use them.
All that you see, Simba, is dead. You have murdered all of them.
So, Peroty, could you explain it to me, what they're saying in this article? Like I'm an 8 and 9-year-old, and I understand what you're telling me about the aspects and fragments going forward in the next year.
You're going to have more of them. If you've bothered to get any of them now, you're going to have more of them. They're going to do different things. Like the one that I have, because I'm lazy and have not gotten many of them, one allows my Titan to slide significantly farther than before and destroy any ice walls in its path. So they're going to give you basically, it'll be the stasis subclass, and you'll be able to do different perks or different things. You can swap it in and out. There's other things that hunters can do and warlocks can do. I don't know what they are.
Will we be gaining new aspects, or will we lose the ones we currently have in lieu of new ones? Like, are we going to continue to build with more and more aspects and fragments, or is it going to be like this season these are gone, next season you get these kind of thing?
They haven't said, as far as I'm aware.
The season should expand with new aspects and fragments, allowing each player to have a more unique stasis configuration. But they haven't said if it's going to be like the rest of the seasonal stuff, if it goes away at the end, or if you just get more and more and more and more. Hopefully, it's you can at least build up a like a big bank of these. Mm-hmm. Of course, at that point, my thought immediately goes to in that there's only 2 aspects and 6 fragments, or maybe that's the way
For
around.
now.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, as long as they don't do like 6 every single season and keep them all, because then you run into the mod problem of, I'm gonna put this aspect on. Hold on, let me page through 16 pages to find the one I was looking for. So as long as they either give us a lot of them and give us a way to say, organize them or search for them or do something like that, or get rid of the ones we don't need, hide them. If we can manage some of this massive data they're going to give us, or if it is each new season you get 6 and 2 new ones, do that. But pick one. I would love to see them expand it, but also it's so new and there's just not much there yet. I
to a
don't.
reasonable degree. You don't want it to be infinite like the mods, but you do want way more customizability than what we currently have with any of our light or dark based subclasses.
Yeah, and I do like the fact that there is at least a step to go acquire it. It isn't just, hey, you turn on the game and here they are, or you play the initial quest and here they are. You have to do a little bit of work to go acquire these things. So maybe you aren't completely overloaded by, here's 67 options on this new class, figure it out, have fun. Because God knows Destiny would just dump that on you and go, hope you've read and listened to podcasts and figure out how to use all these. Bye.
So let me ask you this, Peroty, right? So remember in D1, our supers, you had to gain experience, and based on the experience you had, you would unlock new options, right? But it was strictly experience based. You didn't have to go do specific things to get a specific thing. You just had to acquire X number of experience. Hey, you've leveled up. Now you get to pick a node, kind of thing, right? Now, do you prefer that, the experience based super unlocking for like aspects and fragments, or do you think what we have to do now, we have to go do a very specific activity to unlock a very specific aspect or fragment?
To be honest, you still have to do something in the game. You still have to play an activity and level yourself up with XP to do that. Unfortunately, you have to pick a quest and go and play like a game mode to get some of the aspects and fragments unlocked, or you have to go and do a mission.
But see, I don't like that, right? Because I don't want to be forced to play Crucible if I don't want to, taking an aspect.
That's why they give you the choice. Do you want to go and play Crucible? Do you want to play Gambit? Or do you want to play Strikes?
How about just let me get experience, and based on my experience, I get the aspect.
Okay, so maybe there should be a 4th node to let you pick.
I play Crucible.
You like playing Crucible?
I like playing Iron Banana.
I just want to play Gambit all day, every day.
Yeah, because that's what you want.
I personally love Gambit.
Thank you. Respawn, you're replaced.
See, what I get from that Respawn, even when we logged into Destiny 2, we still had to use experience to unlock the different nodes for our supers, didn't we? We had to make sure that we'd done X amount of XP, and then you'd earn a node to unclick, basically, wouldn't you? To say, yes, I'll have that part of my Titan super unlocked, and you could collect, I think, across your character from just playing the campaign. It gave you it gave you like I can't remember what they were called. They were just like nodes, weren't they? And it said, if you play this mission, you'll get a node, and then you can select which one you want to unlock. And you weren't constricted by just playing and just unlocking the solar abilities. You could, if you wanted to, do one mission, do arc, one mission, do solar, one mission, do void, and play it like that. So they kind of built that into Destiny 2, where you had to go and do missions to get these nodes to then slot into your supers to unlock. So I think that's where they've kind of carried on with, okay, we'll take out the nodes. We'll just say, pick up this quest and you can go and unlock this instead. The other thing that I found quite interesting with playing all characters with stasis is that the aspects and fragments that you get, I can't remember what it is. Is it the aspects are the ones that you've got 2 of?
Yes, the aspects give you slots for your fragments.
Okay. So the aspects that you get for each class of character only allow you to put in certain fragments. So with the Hunter, you can only put 2 fragments on. With the Titan, you can put 3 fragments. And for the Warlock, you can put 4 fragments. So
no, we can have 3 as well.
Can you?
Oh no, fragments, yeah, no, we can have 3 slotted at once.
Are you sure?
Initially, it's only the 2 until you get your second aspect. Yeah.
So I found that interesting that the Warlock gets an extra node. I thought that across the board you'd be able to be able to put the same amount of things, but maybe because, like they said, they're going to expand on it over the seasons for the next year, that different fragments will come along so that you can maybe put 5 in a Titan or 6 in a Hunter and only still have 4 Warlock, depending on what kind of builds you wanted to do.
No, warlocks, we decided, are the overlords. We bow down to them. They get more than we do because that's their rank in the world.
Right now, yeah, no. Warlocks are just ridiculous, but we're not going to get into that. They're so good. But no, at some point in time, you're going to get overpowered, though. You have to keep that in mind, right? The more and more stuff we can add to our subclasses, the more overpowered we're going to be. And we're already having issues with being overpowered that, Destiny has to add things like stomp mechanics and overload champions and this and that and the other, right?
Yeah. So, Alex and you two, have you played with Stasis yet, the Frozen subclass?
I have. I've only played it on 2 characters, though, Hunter and Warlock.
I'm getting questions here. What
Because
Stasis?
this is the only 2 that matter.
Ice.
Nice. You haven't unlocked it yet then? You haven't got to that?
I haven't played Destiny.
Ooh, the truth
I
comes out.
haven't played Destiny for a day.
You haven't played Destiny for a day?
Oh, for a day. Nice.
Hey, I've forgotten
Played
everything that I
Destiny
want to do.
yesterday.
Sorry, Dad, I haven't played Destiny today yet.
But you haven't unlocked your Ice subclass yet, have you?
Back to the Destiny mines.
I don't know.
No, we don't know. We don't know what's happening.
No, you're right. It is only 2.
Bungie, just give me Stasis. Cranky
Okay.
for it.
I think that's what I thought, and I thought there'd be more hunters complaining. How come we only get 2 when the Titans get 3 and the Warlocks get 4?
They haven't looked at them yet. They're just throwing ice tornadoes at everyone.
Yes, they are.
I mean, I would be too if I had an
I mean,
ice tornado.
well, what they did with our aspects, it's almost like they gave us 2 free fragments, right? We got the Shatter Dive, which a lot of people are jealous over, and I am super happy about, right? And that's almost like a fragment in its own right. And the same thing with Winter Shroud, dodging slows nearby targets. Which, by the way, when you pair those, when you pair the Winter Shroud with, I don't know, Bombardiers, it creates a very fun environment, let me tell you. But yeah, so maybe that's why we're not complaining, is because our overall abilities make us feel like we have more fragments than what we actually have. So,
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, the hunters really found their Shadow Dive and Iron Banner. They were like, look what we can do. We figured it out.
Oh, were
can
you the
tighten
victim
with
of
the
the
best of
wombo
you.
combo?
Oh, I was a victim of many a Shadow Dive, my friend. There were many. I mean, really, Iron Banner and Stasis is just kind of like, I'm going to go over here. Something ice based is going to kill me. I don't know who. I don't know where it's coming from, but I'm going to die. That's just what's going to happen.
And what's really funny is our Shadow Dive works on your ice.
Oh yeah. We're
It's like, oh, you put down an ice wall. Oh, you silly Titan. Let me show you what I can do with it.
just like I'm assuming I could also slide through a non-me ice wall, but I again usually am being killed by an ice tornado or a warlock from sometime next week.
No, you were killed in Crucible by a warlock popping a super in what you call it?
Gambit.
Gambit, yeah.
Mhm. The warlock was raiding. He was like, "Hold on, there's a man in the crucible." Right now.
Hold on, let me just hit that guy over there. All right, continue.
We
Anyway.
got this.
So something that you two here, and maybe Alex hasn't experienced yet, are the raids. Am I correct in that?
I'm getting him ready for the raid, actually.
Okay, but at the moment he hasn't experienced a raid.
I've played raid, or I've done
He did Scourge
2
of the
raids,
Past.
I believe.
Yeah, you did Scourge of the
I
Past.
did Scourge, and I've done Leviathan before.
Yeah.
Fancy.
I haven't done Leviathan.
No, you didn't do Leviathan. You had a play on the Leviathan, didn't you, Shinra?
So, are you asking him what his opinion is on them?
No, I was just saying.
Or-
I was just going to dive into the next article from Polygon,
Oh, okay.
which
Me
was
neither.
about Vault of Glass getting a facelift for Destiny 2, not a
Mm.
rework. So I was just asking the guys, have you guys played any raids? And I know you two probably haven't played Vault of Glass because you didn't play Destiny 1
I did.
that much. Alex, did you play Destiny 1 and did you have a go at Vault of Glass?
I don't think I ever got high enough light in order to go into Vault.
No.
Okay.
No, and not only that, but he was like, God, 6 or 7 at the time Vault of Glass was a thing.
My brain couldn't comprehend anything in the raid, even if I tried.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I've seen Fallout take 5-year-olds to the lighthouse, so
No excuse.
no excuse. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a PvP thing. That's not a everybody has to know mechanics kind of thing.
No, everybody doesn't need to know mechanics in Vault of Glass.
Vault of Glass, no. The mechanic you needed was just stand in or near the Titan bubble and you'll be fine. Or maybe that was just the frozen method for Vault of Glass. I don't know.
No, the frozen method was place a bubble somewhere and either somebody in the bubble kills themselves with a rocket launcher or somebody outside the bubble shoots a rocket launcher a millisecond before somebody pops the bubble and then it detonates and kills them.
That was our pro boss strat.
So for anybody that doesn't know, the Vault of Glass was Destiny 1's first ever raid, and it was very...
I knew it.
You knew it. Come on, everybody else should too.
Right?
Yeah. It was like the Bungie couldn't ever beat it again. It was like best raid ever. They had the best weapons, they had the best mechanics, they had the kind of best bosses. It was just perfect from the get-go, wasn't it? And I think every other raid since then has kind of tried to aspire to that, and not has. I mean, some of them have come close. You know, a lot of people's opinions say, you know, the Taken King raid was better than this one, or the Crota raid because it was faster. Wrath of the Machine, Last Wish.
Crota was a strike. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, but
Crota was a strike.
So the Vault of Glass, I'm just explaining this to you, Nixie. It's a 6-player activity where everybody goes in and you go in and you defeat bosses, and you have to defeat about 6 bosses, and there's different things like mazes and things that you have to go
I did it
to.
by myself and I got half through it.
No, you didn't.
See, it's a strike.
No, I'm talking about Vault of Glass. There was mazes and things that you had to... And they're talking about bringing the Vault of Glass back so that people in Destiny 2 can experience it and have a go. But the thing is, if they brought it back as it is now from Destiny 1, with all the supers and all the weapons and all our new abilities, we'd be able to easily go through it. You know, you wouldn't even need to try. So what they're talking about in this new article from Joe Blackburn is that they're going to try and rework it so it's maybe going to be different somehow or difficult.
But he specifically says it's getting a facelift, not a rework.
Yeah.
Which means we're going to add champions and make it irritating.
Probably. But does that mean the Vex Mythoclast is coming back?
They haven't mentioned it. So for anybody that doesn't know, the Vex Mythoclast was a fusion rifle that fired like an auto rifle. With it was stupid to start off with. It was so broken in the game.
First of all, it was not stupid. Don't listen to him. It was and is an amazing gun, and it needs to come back.
It was an amazing gun.
It had the best sound. Unfortunately, you ran ammo in about 4 seconds.
That's the balance part.
Mm-hmm.
It was the raid exotic weapon. So much like we have is the Eyes of Tomorrow from the Deepstone Crypt raid at the moment.
I'm trying to think. It used special ammo, right?
It was a primary, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
It was a kinetic.
No, it was solar damage. I do remember that. It was solar damage.
Solar damage.
But
I think before we didn't have things like we had snipers using.
Oh no, I found it. No, it was a primary. Oh my god, it didn't even use special ammo. So this is a primary weapon that did solar fusion rifle damage, but at a rate of a machine gun. Just daggone.
Yeah. So cross your fingers that it's coming back, and it's coming back semi pre-nerf, because I think there was a good middle ground that they could get with it, but they kind of nerfed it because it was just too overpowered in the Crucible. Anyway,
Bring it back as it is, but just make it use special ammo. Boom, done. Pre-nerf, special ammo, Vex Mythoclast.
So Joe Blackburn in the interview goes into detail and saying, I think that the ultimate goal here is to make it feel like the Vault of Glass when you first did it that first time. which is probably pretty different than if we
No.
just did a straight
Mm-mm.
of the
Don't
Vault
want.
Glass.
Not the first time. Mm-mm. No.
Wait,
Or
what?
no.
Maybe
Say
the
again?
time that you completed it.
Yeah, let's go with that one.
Wait,
Yeah.
no. What? I missed something. What happened?
Think about the first time you stepped into a raid.
Uh-huh.
Think about who those people might have been with,
Uh-huh.
and think about how many hours it took you to fail miserably. Let's not. I don't want to have that experience again.
Oh. I believe my first raid attempt was with the Frozen Clan, if I'm not mistaken.
Then you should also not want to walk into it like it's your first time.
So Blackburn explains to Polygon that the raid team responsible for the Vault of Glass remake went back to the original, the PlayStation version, just to see how it felt. And they determined that, Guardians would completely smoke it in Destiny 2 with the armor, like I was explaining to you guys at the beginning. So speaking from personal experience, going back to the old Destiny 2 raids earlier this year, Vault of Glass enemies feel weaker, and the flow of the enemies on the battlefield is extremely slow. So in the modern Destiny, where every super can eliminate a dozen or more enemies, and players can trap doors with weapons like Anarchy, boss encounters like Atheon and Templar would just completely fall over, which I completely agree. So there needs to be some kind of mechanic in there as well. I think maybe there's a loss of light, or you use heavy weapons. There's going to have to be something to it. That there's got to be a reason why it's coming back. I feel that there should be some kind of lore reason why it's being brought back for us to be tested again. So Blackburn goes on to explain that we're definitely going to make changes and make it feel challenging like it felt before. Don't want to go too far and make it feel like it's a different raid.
That's true. We do want to keep the same Vault of Glass experience. The only thing I can think of is, you had the shield, right? Somebody had to pick up the artifact and they gave you a shield or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe have that as only one person can pick it up, and then they have like a countdown timer. They're gonna have to change it somehow mechanically, right? Because mechanically speaking, it was significantly easier than any raid we've got now, right? Just from the mechanics of it. So I don't know about adding champions or this and that or the other. You know that there's going to be stomp mechanics, unfortunately, so that's kind of a meh. But they have to change the mechanics, because the mechanics as they were, I mean, quoting Peroty over here, it would just be like a strike at this point if they brought it back without changing any mechanics,
And they were also talking about bringing back some of the original weapons, but he says, but no one is out to create a found verdict or Fatebringer here that feels radically different from the original Fatebringer, because then it just feels like we're lying to players, right? Like, that's not what Fatebringer feels like. Everyone knows what the recoil pattern is on that gun. Everyone knows the perks that they wanted. So it sounds like they're going to bring them back as they were, static rolls, but does that mean that they're going to bring them back as what they were originally in Destiny 1, that we got the first Vault of Glass raid, or are they going to bring them back as exotics like they did when they reinvented the raids towards the end of Destiny 1? So again, for anybody that's new, what they did kind of towards the end of Destiny 1's life is they brought back the old raids and updated them with more powerful weapons. The weapons were powerful again because, again, we had sunsetting in Destiny 1. So they brought back the Vault of Glass. They brought back the Crota raid. I keep saying the Crota raid. I can't remember what the name of it is. It's the guys.
I don't know. I only ever call it Crota.
It was along the lines of
Crota's End.
Crota's End.
yeah.
Crota's
So,
End.
Crota Raid, same thing.
And what was the other one that they had to update? Was it King's Fall as well? I think it was, because you got the different armor sets. So they brought back King's Fall as well. And they updated the armor sets, and then we had ornaments that glowed. And when you got shot, the ornaments would decrease in their glow. And then when you were fully charged, they would glow up again. There were really nice armors that you could collect, and the weapons that you could get that were really sought after. They turned those into exotics. So like the Fatebringer, the Vision of Confluence, just all the weapons were, I don't know why, but they were just exoticized. I guess they were turned into exotics. So are they going to do that with them, or are they going to bring them back as legendary weapons, but maybe just masterworked in a version of what they are now? And are we going to get random rolls? Are there going to be random rolls available for a Fatebringer?
Oh my
Because
god.
if they don't do random rolls, what's the point of going and playing the game if you get it on your first drop and you get your Vexed Mythic class?
Yeah, but that's just it. Getting it on your first drop. Look how long it took people to get the Fatebringer, the static roll, dude. I mean,
Never. Sometimes never is the answer.
yeah. The drop rates were horrendous.
I think for you guys here, and maybe for Alex, because you haven't experienced raids as much and been kind of in that chase of this weapon's available or that armor piece is available, it's not something that's kind of sought after at the moment. But once you get to a kind of power level and you find yourself doing endgame stuff, that's when you start wanting to do these things.
Yeah, but even if we're talking about the Fatebringer, now the Fatebringer is not even unique anymore, right? We have weapons in the game that drop with Firefly and explosive rounds and Outlaw. You know what I mean? Maybe not all three at once, but like you have bows that have exploding arrowhead, and then they have Firefly, right? So I mean that's a Fatebringer.
Dragonfly. We have Dragonfly, which is a little
It
less
does
powerful.
the same thing.
No, it's less powerful.
But you shoot something in the head, it explodes. Same functionality, right? So, I mean, unless they're gonna make like the Firefly on the Fatebringer, like it is on the exotic. Oh God, man, the Ace of Spades, right? Unless they're gonna make it like have a big explosion like Ace of Spades, then the Fatebringer is gonna come back and it's just gonna be like meh. So, I mean, I don't know. They'd have to give us different weapons altogether, except for the Vexed Mythic class. Like I said, pre-nerf, make it exotic and use special ammo. Done. Just give me the Mythic class. That's all I want. Just. By the way, little known fact: the Mythic class had the highest damage rating you could get in Destiny 1. Did y'all know that?
It doesn't matter because it's a raid exotic. You're never going to get it.
Don't remind me. Get 25 runs now. 25 runs in, and I still don't have the Eyes of Tomorrow, by the way.
That's okay. I mean, you're just me in Destiny 1 with the Galahorn. It's just, I was always the guy, bring your Galahorn. Yeah, I don't have one. Why not? Because the game hates me. I missed it like week 3, the Xur sold it or whatever, and then...
Yep, I didn't get my Galahorn literally till Xur sold it at the end of D1. That was when I got it. You're bringing up bad memories, Peroty. I hate you so much right now. Now I'm depressed. I can't even do the show. I'm done. I'm going home.
Dad, there seems to be a pattern in every Destiny game you play. It takes you at least 50 tries to get the raid exotic.
Not true. It took me 39 times to get the Anarchy. 39!
I'm looking forward to the day
count.
where I can walk up to the kiosk and just buy the Anarchy, and then I can just have it, and then I won't have to put in nearly the work for it.
You can. Not Peroty. Look, dude. Right now, the very first encounter of the new raid, which is the easiest encounter, gives you 5 of those. Okay?
When it doesn't bug out and send you back to the beginning 16 times.
Just do the first encounter. Get the 5, reset. Do the first encounter, get the 5, reset. Do the first encounter, get the 5, reset. You don't even have to do the whole thing.
That's not a problem.
Alex, could you give us a roundup of news?
All right, Alexander, now here's what you got to do. Anytime somebody says the team is working on it, we've heard your feedback, or something similar to that, you have to tell people to take a drink.
Okay. Bungie help. We are currently investigating issues where players are not receiving the To All a Good Fight quest or cookie ingredients from Eva. Players may be able to resolve this issue by using alternate characters. DMG's response: team is on it. In the meantime, try an alternate character, bake Zavala a cookie, then hop back on your main. DMG 04. Not seeing Dawning quest when speaking with Eva. Please check your banned quest. in the tower next to the postmaster. DMG 04. Trial starts in 10 minutes. Over and over. Please do not send me a game-breaking bug in 10 minutes. Lord checks if it's Exodius, Blue, or Cauldron. It's gonna get disabled. DMG's response: we have adjusted the map rotation to avoid ones with out-of-bound issues. Team is looking to fix those ASAP. Bungie help.
Yeah, take a drink.
Yeah. We're investigating an issue where players are not consistently receiving adept weapons from the flawless chest after earning their first of the week.
Take a drink.
Take a drink. Destiny 2 freeze a moment in time with new stasis-themed Instagram filter.
It's actually kind of cool. If I used Instagram, I would totally do that.
DTM gives crows cookies, screaming, "Oh, cannot use effect. Please update the Instagram app before accessing the filter."
That would help.
Destiny 2. Are those ghosts of sparrows past? Nope. These dawning slays have returned.
So this is basically just showing you all the dawning slays that you have available now that are ones that we previously had.
Destiny 2, we've heard some people are wondering about how to capitalize on this dawning spirit. It's simple. More dawning spirit equals more presence.
Why is that even a response, right? It's one of those duh moments, right? How do we capitalize on the dawning spirit? You get stuff. It's like the most Destiny response ever, dude. You get stuff. What do you want?
Mass murder is how you capitalize on the dawning spirit. Murder everything in sight and then bring cookies to your friends.
But you have to murder it in different ways. You have to murder it with melees, with arc, with solar, with void, with supers, with auto rifles, with swords.
Cookies need different ingredients. That's how it works.
Yeah. Different levels of homicide require different ingredients to bake cookies. That totally makes sense, man.
Yeah, I mean, don't you mow a couple people down? They go to the grocery store and bake your cookie for the holidays. Isn't that where it comes from?
Only on Black Friday. That's only when you do that.
So, speaking of the dawning, I was listening to the Fireteam chat, IGN's Fireteam chat, and they were saying it's very much the same as the last couple of dawnings. It's very tedious. They're not really getting invested into it. But I think it's just one of those events that just comes around, and if you're still playing the game, leveling up like you two are, just enjoying the game, it's just something added extra to do. There's a really nice ship that you can get. There's a shader available that's only exclusive to the ship, a transmat effect, the tail burns for the ship as well, I guess. There's those things, and then there's the things that come up from Eververse. Now, like we pointed out last week, that the stuff that is available for Silver is also going to be available for Bright Dust. So if you've been playing the game and earning a Bright Dust, you know which week it's going to come up on. You can get the nice stuff that's in Eververse. And what's really nice is that they've returned old weapons. And we were talking about this last week with the Avalanche machine gun. We weren't sure whether that was going to return. And that has actually returned with the new perk system. So there are things like Surplus, One for All, and things like that are available on this weapon, which is really nice. And they've updated the power cap onto it. So it's now going to be a 1410 power cap. The only caveat to that is that ones that you've currently got in your vault that from previous season or last season will only still go up to 1260. So old ones aren't relevant. But it is just nice to have another available solar machine gun so that if you can't get the one from the raid, there is one available for you to get to do certain activities for. Although I've heard the roll isn't that.
It's really not good, though. Yeah, that is very disappointing. The roll is very meh.
The one from the raid is obviously better because you can get different perks on there, but it is
The raid
just
is-
nice to have.
It's not solar.
No, but it's a better machine gun for like PvP and PvE activities, whereas this one that's available from the Dawning, it's just nice that it's returned. They've actually put it back in. And the Cold Front SMG, again, we weren't sure whether that was going to be returning. But it's that's nice. We have the returning weapons. But if you are still just playing the game and leveling up your character, and you want to just go and play a bit of PvE, or you want to play a bit of Gambit, or you just want to do a couple of Nightfalls, you're going to get some of the Dawning Essence. You're going to get some of the cookie ingredients. And you go around and you take it to the different vendors. And slowly over the next 3 weeks, we'll be doing a single player quest to unlock the ship. And then we've got the community event, which is also new for this year, which is quite nice. That every time that the community hit a milestone, there's going to be upgraded packages that we can go and collect from Eva and potentially get something good at the end of the community event. I don't know what it is going to be at the moment, but I think that's just nice that they've added that to it. So it gives people a reason to just continue to keep baking cookies. And the fact that you get a chance at getting these new weapons, the two reprise weapons, and the Avalanche, and then you've got the Glacier Chasm, which is a really good fusion rifle also out there. So there are reasons to go, and you can also get infusion fuel, so you can get enhancement cores and shards that are available from turning in packages and getting packages back. So I think it is quite a beneficial thing. If it wasn't in the game and you didn't have these extra ways of getting infusion materials and these upgrade materials, then I think people would complain that there isn't anything. So it's just nice to have these events. I don't understand why people complain about these events coming around, to be honest. What do you guys think?
Because they like joy in their lives.
It's just the tediousness of it,
But you don't have to make it tedious. You don't have to push out like the YouTubers, the streamers, and get the shit done today. You don't need to do that. If you want to do, there's various different things. You can do AFK farming, which I'll point out in the tips and tricks. But if you want to just play the game and earn the stuff, I mean, I think I'm halfway through the ship quest, and I've just played PvE. I've played a bit of PvP this week. I've just enjoyed just playing the odd little game here and there, and I've earned the cookies and I've done a few little bits of that quest.
We're only halfway through right now. That's kind of the problem. Right now, you need to have the ship fully upgraded so that you get the essence stuff right for the community events. Right, the ship helps you get those with basically every kill.
Yeah, I understand that.
So
But
the No Life tryhards, they're doing the community event. I'm just slowly working through the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying the game and playing it as and when. And if I turn in bounties, that gives me the Dawning Spirit. And if I'm doing parts of the quest, that gives me more Dawning Spirit. It's just, and doing the Triumph also gives you more Dawning Spirit. So everything's working towards that.
Well, I think people's big complaint is the fact of the drop rates, right? So right now,
I am complaining about drop rates,
but the drop rates are really low, man. Like personal touch. I've been trying to get more personal touch after I ran out. I spent a half a day and I got one.
Because you're not playing the personal touch class, sir. You will need to speak to your Titan concierge and get the best personal touch there is. You're just not punching people hard enough.
No, it's because like you have a chance to get other things in addition to the one thing that you want, right? So if I'm not mistaken, I think personal touch is killing things with like a masterworked weapon, right?
I was just assuming it was the melee one, but I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's no, it is melee. I'm thinking of something else, right?
Yeah,
so it is melee, right? But when you do melee, you don't just get the personal touch, right? You have a chance of getting the personal touch. You have a chance of getting whatever. Let's say if you're using an arc subclass, you could get the arc ingredient instead. You're not just getting the one thing when you're trying for the one thing. You have options at all of the things you can get from that pool, and more often than not, you're getting one more often than you're getting the others. So here I am, just trying to get it right, and I'm rocking the double dodge on the arc subclass, right? So if I dodge near an enemy, I get my melee back, and I'm just melee, and I'm getting nothing but the damn arc ingredients and no personal touch ones, dude.
Did you change your subclass?
I did try it with the frost build too. The frost build, for some reason, gives me null.
Because maybe the game just wants you to have all the arc. Maybe it feels like you're not throwing enough arc.
No, but has anybody else noticed that too? Like when you use your frost subclass, you get ingredients like you're using your void subclass.
Probably because they hadn't added any frost ingredients. I was wondering how they're going to handle some of that in this game. Like the perk says, like, for certain subclasses it does this, but then you throw on stasis and nothing happens because that's not part of the perk set.
Because that's based on light subclasses.
Right. Yeah, and to answer your question, no, because I've almost played no game this week, so I have nothing done and don't have anything that I'm lacking because I'm lacking everything.
I did find swapping to a light-based subclass did improve some of the things I was trying to do. I don't know whether it's because stasis sometimes doesn't recognize. Although, yeah, I think it does, but I think maybe there may be a glitch in the game or a bug. But you never know, because I kept some of the text, like you were saying, there was issues. I was trying to get Vex milk, and I'm thinking, why isn't this working? You know, I've shot about 50 Vex, and I've only got one to drop. But then when I played the Nightfall, I got loads of cheating powder from doing the Nightfall strike. So I don't know why, to be honest. But I did want to point out something that Bungie Help did tweet out a couple of days ago regarding the Dawning, that they said the Dawning reset is going to be at 9 a.m. PDT on a Sunday, the rest of the Dawning, because there's something that they can't do in the code that they can't get round. So everything's going to reset on Sunday. So after you've heard this, but then the next Sunday, maybe it's because of Christmas holidays and things like that. Maybe that's why they've done it. They don't want to kind of be involved.
Hey, just, at least this time they're telling us. We've had all sorts of other things in the past, reset at weird times where it's like, it's a bug, deal with it. So at least they actually told us this time that, hey, this is going to reset on a Sunday. So like Respawn in the past has been hoarding materials and all of a sudden, they're gone or it resets or whatever. At least now you know.
Yeah,
of course,
so
we won't know because
pick up the bounties again on Sunday after reset.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And also, if you're interested, if you go to your Bungie Rewards page on Bungie.net, as part of the Bungie Rewards, a festive and free emblem will be available for you to collect when you complete the initial Dawning quest. So there you go. Something extra for you.
It's almost the Winterborn mark. Ever since Destiny 1, we had that beautiful little snowflake that became the Frozen Class emblem, or the Frozen Clan emblem. I've wanted just a nice little Winterborn mark or something close to it, and it's almost there. It's not quite the same charm, but it's close. It's close.
So it's now time for our premium part of the podcast.
Premium.
Oh, premium. Is this where our premium subscribers get to ask questions?
No, this is where the children get to ask you, Peroty, some questions.
Wait, I thought he was asking them questions.
No, this is the other way around. Because I have no children to contribute, I must now be asked questions, interrogated by the children. Because I don't have I don't get to enjoy the children asking me questions over and over and over and over again all day long, asking me things, wanting things. So I get to experience that now. It's a premium feature.
All right.
So, Indiana, what is your first question for Peroty?
Peroty, when starting the game, what is the best class to choose, and why is it Titan?
Wrong!
Because it's easy to punch first and ask questions later, and also reloading is for hunters. It breaks my immersion.
Hunters don't reload, we dodge. Slacker.
Yeah, while you're reloading.
No, we reload while dodging. It's the other way around, buddy.
Same thing.
It's not.
Still a fault of the class.
Respawn, you're not answering these questions. This is for Peroty.
No, these are loaded questions. America with this information.
Peroty, as a new player, what would you recommend to try first when they've finished the campaign?
I would say, I'm biased. I would say Gambit because it's sort of like patrols. The objective is run around and shoot things and gives you can try different things out. There's no real, unless you're playing it competitively with a team, you can just jump in and sort of use whatever you want and do whatever you want and run around and shoot things. And you can just have fun with it. So Gambit's a good sort of intro to, there's no real objective. You can't really get lost like you can in Strikes if you don't know your way around. And it's not PvP, so you don't have people just absolutely stomping you, but there's some invasion. So there's like a little tiny taste of PvP to think that, hey, maybe I like this or maybe I don't. So Gambit, baby's first play arena.
Alex, have you got a question?
Peroty, as a new player, what exotic weapon quest would you recommend first?
Well, I have no idea what exotic weapon quests are available. So I was going to go look at the kiosk because I think you can get those things from the kiosk from just getting like world materials and glimmer. Like there's no crazy requirements like the Spoils of Conquest for some of the raid stuff. And I would say try the Symmetry and the Jotun because the Symmetry is a scout rifle with some interesting perks and you can have a lot of fun with it. And the Jotun, it's a giant fusion rifle that shoots fire at people. I mean, what's not to love?
Yoan's just a fusion rifle made for Titans.
It's a toaster. It's an angry toaster that wants to show its love to you.
No, it's a tracking weapon, so Titans don't even have to bother aiming anymore.
Sir, we don't aim to start with. That's why they give us 1,000 bullets.
And the war rig.
Peroty, I've done some public events on different planets, and sometimes they say they've gone heroic, and sometimes not. What am I doing wrong?
You should be shooting all the blights. You have to shoot the blights the moment they come up, and that way everybody wins and loves you.
No.
Seriously, don't do that. Really, every single public event, there's a way to make it heroic. And really, at this point, every streamer in the world has put out their own video on how to do it. So just go to YouTube and type in how to make public events heroic. And there's 1,000 videos. Pick your favorite person, watch one of theirs. But there's some mechanic to each of the public events to make it heroic.
I'm telling you this. Look, as everybody listening to this, if you're doing a public event and you see a blight bubble and then you see a blight in the sky, okay? And your first spot is to shoot the blight that's on the ground instead of the one that's in the sky. Not only do you hate yourself, okay? You hate those around you and you push away those that are trying to love you, okay?
Respawn.
What?
Isn't there a song about this?
Maybe. Stop killing the blight. Leave the blight alone. The blight has done nothing to you. The blight has done nothing to you. The blight has done nothing to you. Leave the blight alone. Stop killing the blight. Go in the blight. Get the buff. Shoot the big orb in the sky. Leave the blight alone. Stop killing the blight. The blight has done nothing to you. The blight has done nothing to you. The blight has done nothing to you. Go in the blight. Get the buff. Shoot the big orb in the sky. Leave the blight alone. Stop killing the blight. The blight has done nothing to you. The blight has done nothing to you. The blight has done nothing to you. Go back in the blight. Get the buff. Shoot the big orb in the sky. Leave the blight alone. Go back in the blight. Get the buff. Shoot the big orb in the sky. Leave the blight alone. Stop killing the blight. The blight has done nothing to you. The blight has done nothing to you. The blight has done nothing to you. Go back in the blight. Get the buff. Shoot the big orb in the sky. Leave the blight alone. Stop killing the blight. The blight has done nothing to you. Go back in the blight. Get the buff. Shoot the big orb in the sky. Leave the blight alone. Stop killing the blight. The blight has done nothing to you. The blight has done nothing to you. The blight has done nothing to you. Stop killing the blights! If you're breaking the blight bubbles on the ground, you're a terrorist. Don't do that.
And plans are for terrorists.
Peroty, could you explain what Xur is?
Xur is a man with tentacles for a face that just wants to bring you gear. So he shows up every Friday at reset until, is it Monday or Tuesday at reset?
It's Tuesday at
Weekly
reset.
reset, yeah.
Tuesday, okay. My brain just totally blinked on it. So yeah, Xur will show up Friday at reset. He'll leave at Tuesday at reset. Every week he will bring one exotic weapon randomly with rolls on it. He will also bring one armor piece. They're there for you. You can see them. You can see what the rolls are. Buy them, don't buy them, up to you. Or a weapon that you do not have yet. So if you're missing that one non-raid exotic, if you're missing one, or if you're a new blight player and going, I have no exotics, what are these? Buy one from Xur each week if you can.
Also, Alexander,
It'll
don't
give
you
you
have
something to
something
play
to
with.
add to this very specific topic?
I don't know what we're talking about other than Xur's stuff.
Exactly, Xur. So you asked me, hey, Dad, does Xur only give you stuff you don't have? And I said, yes. Because you asked me what the...
Oh yeah, there's more things that you can't get from Xur, like the items from I forgot what they're called. Just the
Heroic?
really hard boss sectors.
Heroic dungeons. Sorry, heroic dungeons.
Yeah, you can't get those from the engram.
And not just that, but there's one other thing that is probably a bug that you are experiencing. So Alexander asked me, Dad, how many exotics do you get from the dungeons? I said 2. You get a headpiece and you get arms. And so he's like, okay, cool, because I'm missing this chest piece on my warlock, right? So he goes to Xur, he buys the faded engram, and it gives him something he's already got instead of the chest piece that he needs that's not associated with the master lost sectors.
And not a raid exotic. Which chest piece is
Not
it?
a raid exotic.
Just something in the game in the loot pool?
I can't remember what he said, but it's a very common warlock chest piece. And Xur did not give it to him, and
There
he
is
does
a
not.
possibility, Alex, that you've already picked it up at some point and deleted it. And if that,
No, when I looked in my collections, it didn't show up.
I was going to say, because if you look in your collections, that would be the place that you'd be able to see where, if you have collected it before it and deleted it by accident, it would show up again. Or if you've infused it by accident, sometimes that happens.
I wonder if that's bugged, or I wonder if it's one of those where it's like, it's in this loot pool and we haven't brought it back and something.
I mean, maybe, but Xur is supposed to give you every exotic that's not tied to an event or a raid. So it is weird. Anyway, so Xur is supposed to give you something that you don't have, but apparently he's very picky and choosy when he
Yeah,
decides
he
who
likes scamming people.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
And he shows up randomly, doesn't he, on different planets in different places. It's always the same place on the planets wherever he is, if he's going to a planet. And if he's in the tower, it's always in the tower hangar at the back behind where Master Rahul is. So if you go down to where you can go and speak to Saint 14 and Amanda, he's over on the left as you come down the stairs. If you go to the far left, up on some scaffolding, that's where he is in the tower. And each week, many YouTubers put out videos saying, this is where Xur is, these are the roles, we recommend this, this, and this. You can always go and see for yourself.
Yep. Or you can just go to findxur.com and they will tell you where he is and what he's brought for the week. And now that will save you 9.5 minutes.
You go to Today or Destiny in Today, and it tells you not only where Xur is, but what all of the vendors on every planet are selling for that day.
There will be links in the show notes. We have many of them. If you're playing Destiny without using the internet, you're not really playing Destiny.
Or unless you're really going for immersion and just forget that the outside world exists. Who knows?
Peroty, could you explain infusing and what I need to do this?
No.
Okay.
Stop
Next
picking on
question.
him.
No, sorry. No, I'd written answers out and I was just looking. So infusing, So you can basically infusing is you can take a gun of a higher light level, doesn't matter what it is, or armor piece, and shove it into something of a lower light level. So, weapons and armor basically work the same way. You used to have to do math and figure out if I put this in with this number, it would give you this. Now it just says if you have a 1050 weapon and you put a 1250 weapon into it, that weapon becomes 1250. Congratulations, have a nice life. It will, however, cost you upgrade modules, which you can buy from the gunsmith for pricey things. It's probably something you're not buying a ton of, especially if you don't have piles of materials laying around. But if you do have, say, multiple of the same armor piece or the same weapon you keep getting 16 times, you can infuse that same weapon or armor piece into itself, and it will only cost you 1,000 glimmer. You won't need an upgrade module or anything else crazy. So if you're trying to save yourself materials, infuse the same thing into itself. It's much cheaper than infusing any old thing into any old thing, which you can still do.
If I'm playing a hunter and I happen to have a higher headpiece on my warlock than I do on my hunter, can I infuse my warlock headpiece into my hunter headpiece to make that light even bigger?
That is an excellent question. No, you cannot. Or wait, or can you? I'm actually not sure at the moment. I was thinking no, because you can put them on each other, but yeah, or at least the exotics.
No, you can use any weapon into any weapon of the same type into another weapon of the same type, but you cannot infuse different
pieces across. Yeah. I was sure, and then I had that moment of doubt, and I was like, "Is that true?" You can tell I've touched other characters lately.
I need to infuse materials. Could you explain where to get these from and who is Spider?
Infusion materials. Infusion materials are largely, one, glimmer, which you get from doing anything. And each planet has its own planetary material, like tiny little plants in boxes. And on the EDZ, they're little spin metal plants, which look like big aluminum foil plants sticking out of the ground. But each planet has its own material. And Spider is a guy who hangs out on the shore. And you can bring him, basically, he's the vendor to let you swap materials around. If you have a whole bunch of materials from one planet, needs materials from another planet, or you're trying to buy some materials to buy your upgrade modules, or if you just have run out of glimmer and can't buy any more bounties, he'll sell you glimmer for different materials. And they rotate, and bring him things. You can buy different things. And it's also a good place if you have a whole bunch of materials from planets that are no longer there. After the season, those become worthless. So days when Spider is selling things you want or need, use those materials you can no longer acquire.
Peroty, could you explain masterworking a weapon?
Masterworking weapon is a lovely thing where you can shove all sorts of materials into a weapon. And for an exotic weapon, it's going to give you need to have a catalyst for it, which we'll get to later. But for legendary weapons, it will basically do a couple of things. One, it will give you orbs. You'll generate orbs every time you get a multi-kill with that weapon. It'll also give you, each weapon has sort of a masterwork perk as you're taking that weapon up towards masterworking from 1 to 10. When it hits 10, you'll get a plus 10 bonus to whatever stat. Maybe it's range, maybe it's reload speed, whatever that stat is, you'll get a 10 additional points in that stat. And you'll be able to create orbs of light, or orbs of power as they are this season and going forward, I assume. And masterworking armor, which you didn't ask about, but masterworking armor is pointless. Don't waste your materials. Don't do it.
That is a lie. Tell them what it really does.
No, because my could you explain masterworking armor is no. Because I have 0 pieces of masterwork, and
So what masterworking armor does is it gives you more slots to work with when you're working with your mods. And when you fully masterwork a piece of armor, you get 10 slots for adding mods, but you also get an additional 12 points spread out between 2 of each different perk on that armor, right? So you get an additional 2 intelligence, an additional 2 mobility, an additional 2 discipline, an additional 2, all that stuff. Everything gets plus 2 when you masterwork it fully.
See, this is why I let you answer it, because I looked through my vault and I do not have a single piece masterworked. So
10 slots, 12 extra stat points. Done.
Well, great place to move into the next question. Peroty, could you explain exotic weapon catalyst?
Exotic weapon catalysts, they're sort of how you can masterwork and get additional perks on your exotic weaponry. They come from various places in the game. Sometimes it's a random drop from doing an activity like Crucible or a Strike. Sometimes it's something that drops in certain raids. Some of them it's, you have to go do a thing and you'll earn it. It just sort of depends, and each weapon sort of will tell you how to get its exotic catalyst. At that point, once you have the catalyst, it's usually you then have to go do an additional step. It's either get kills with that weapon for the catalyst, or get them in a particular way. Go do something, and then it makes that weapon more powerful and more interesting and sort of truly exotic. It's like if your exotic weapon has a bunch of cool perks, this is sort of the next level to that exotic weapon. It does cool perks and gives you a little bit of something extra on top of it.
Peroty, for leveling up my armor and weapons, is it worth it to keep infusing my work gear to keep the stats, or should I just rock all the blues I get until I hit the power cap and then infuse?
For most people, rock all the blues till you hit the power cap and infuse. Because you can go and keep upgrading your armor, but it gets very expensive with the upgrade modules. Now, if you've been playing the game 40 hours a week and streaming and have all the materials, do whatever you want. You've got thousands of them. But if you're like Respawn, trying to keep those golf balls secret and safe, keep them for the thing you really want to use it for. Don't just spend them all.
Peroty, what can a new live player access for free?
Well, first you're going to need to write to Bungie and say, guys, you really should put this somewhere easier to find and easier to explain to people. But for the best of my knowledge, and I'm sure Nitedemon will correct me because I'm sure I'm wrong about some of this, what you have as a new light player, you'll get access to the locations of the game: Europa, Cosmodrome, EDZ, Nessus, Tangled Shore, and Dreaming City. You can go there, you can free roam, you can patrol, you can do your thing there. You'll also have access to the Strikes, Crucible, and Gambit game modes in the game. Play those, enjoy them, knock yourself out. You also get the new artifact and mods. You'll have access to the Dawning event going on now, the Iron Banner coming back in a couple weeks, and you'll have your seasonal armor sets and your new exotic shotgun, the Duality, will be available to you to unlock. And you'll also have the free track of the seasonal pass, which will give you bright dust and materials and exotics and more things, and as you just progress through that seasonal pass. So basically, the short version is for New Light, you'll get access to all the locations in the game, but not all of the extras, all the exotic weapon quests, all the extra stuff that happens in those locations.
If you're waiting for a Carbon Dragon, he's been summoned by his mother.
I'm just waiting for whatever's happening next.
Peroty, what is the number that's like a gold shield next to it if you look at somebody's emblem?
That is your active triumph score, small child.
What does that mean? What's a triumph and why does the score matter?
The triumph is a silly thing you've done, and you've gotten points for it you can brag to your friends about.
Peroty, what is the number above players' heads for?
Aiming. It's also the current level they are at the season. So each season, on that season pass, it goes from 1 to 100, and then you can go above 100, and you get the feeling of a job well done. So it sort of gives you an idea of how long or how much that person's played this season. So if you're seeing the guy at level 200 something in the Iron Banner, he's going to destroy you. He's been here all year long. If you see someone at level 3 or 4, they haven't played much and have either just played casually or just started out this season. And each season that number resets. So at the end of each season, we're all back to where we started, at 0.
Peroty, I downloaded Destiny 2 New Light from Xbox Game Pass. Been playing all the past quest lines, Red War, Osiris, and Warmind, to get my bearings. Then move on to the New Light quest line. Beyond Light has now automatically downloaded to my Xbox, and I've lost all my quests relating to New Light. do these come back post tutorial section, or have I lost all of that content?
Well, from the best of my Googling ability, it seems that you have lost all that content and it's not available in the game anymore. Though I do remember something, and this is probably coming in the future, them saying they were going to bring a kiosk back to the tower and give you access to some of those quests. Am I crazy? Do either of you remember that?
Yeah, I thought that if you lost progress or you lost quests, you could go to the kiosk that's next to the postmaster and pick up quests from there.
Well, I do know for a fact you can get exotic quests from there. Don't know about anything else though.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like in one of the updates they said they were going to add those things back, but I don't remember if they did yet. So maybe.
Over to you, Alex.
Peroty, can you buy Beyond Light Deluxe Edition on Xbox and play it on PC, or do you have to buy Beyond Light for PC too?
Of course, you ask this to the person that only plays on one console. I think if you buy it, it translates, but those of you who play on more than one console can tell me the answer to that. I'm honestly not sure because I kind of gloss over my eyes when they explain all the ins and outs of where you have to buy what.
I know Dad probably would know, but
Dad probably would know what. I zoned out. Sorry.
if you buy Beyond Light on Xbox, if you have to buy it on PC too.
You do, in fact, have to buy it on PC. Now, the caveat is if you have a bunch of stuff from New Light, I'm sorry, from what you're talking about on your Xbox, and you open a Steam account, and you jump on your account on Steam, right? All of the stuff you currently have, as far as weapons, armor, all that good stuff, you can still use on PC. You can just no longer do any activities associated with that on PC until you buy the content. So the gear you've acquired, you have, but you cannot access activities related to that until you buy it. Fair enough?
There we go. I wish they would just put that in an article somewhere and explain it like that. Like, tell it to me like I'm 5. Because even trying to find this information, it's like, well, it depends. Maybe if you do, like, just break it down like that. It's not that hard. See, Respawn can do it. Anybody can do it.
Never have I been so offended and so accurate in my life.
Peroty, if I have more than one character, can I transfer my guns from one to the other?
You can if they're on the same account. AKA, if you load up Destiny and you get that nice little dark loading screen now, and you can see up to 3 characters. If it's one of those 3 characters, yes. If it's on a different account, a different gamer tag, then no.
Peroty, does that help you with leveling up incarnate characters?
It does, because when you're leveling up, Destiny is all about light level. Or I guess dark level? I don't know. Whatever the level we're calling it is now. And because you can swap your guns around, say you're 1050 at the start of the season, and you've been playing on one character and you have, level 1100 or 1200 or 1250 weapons, you can put those higher level weapons on your 1050 starting out character. And because it takes all of your gear into account, weapons and armor, then you immediately become a much more powerful character with much higher level stuff because you put those much higher level weapons on it. And then each new drop will be a much higher thing. So when you're getting when you're getting armor drops going forward, they'll be much higher than if you had started out at 1050 trying to start that character from scratch like you did your first one. So yes.
Peroty, if I wanted to get back into it today, what do I actually need to buy so I'm not locked out of content that I'd want to play with my friends who've been regularly playing over the past few years?
So if you're starting, New Light, obviously free to play, get you in the door with at least, you'll have Destiny, period, full stop. And then for $40, you will get the Beyond Light Standard Edition, which gives you all the expansion content, which is all the old expansion stuff that you can play, we presume, from the kiosk. We'll find out. If you want to spend a little bit more money, you can spend $50 right now, and you'll get that all the same expansion content, plus all your Season 12 content, and your Season Pass for this current season, as well as your free emblem and your ghost shell. So $40, $50 gets you in the door with everything. You can spend more money to get more things, but that'll get you in the door with all the stuff that's available right now to other people playing the game.
Peroty, I've heard you've mentioned dim.
Lies.
Could you explain what this is and what it does?
Dim, my friend, is Destiny Item Manager. It does exactly what it sounds like. It will manage all your items. And really, I'll let Dim, in their own words, tell you what it is. Weapons. Forgot to grab your favorite hand cannon? Just click and drag it to your active character. God, let's try that again since I can't read today. Forgot to grab your favorite hand cannon? Just click it and drag it to your active character. Gear. Need those stompies for a jumping puzzle? Fire up Dim and grab them on your character. Need to create a loadout? Are you looking for the perfect loadout for your raid, your strike, your gambit, or any other loadout that would be helpful? You can build them in Dim, and at one click of a button, it puts all the gear and all your armor on your character, whether it's on your character, whether it's on your vault, and you're good to go. Really, Dim and Ishtar Commander and Little Light and apps like that are what you need to play Destiny, because back in the olden days, we had to fly to the tower to visit the vault to get weapons and armor out of there, to put on our character, to go off and do the thing we were trying to do. Now just go to your computer, your phone, your tablet, anything, and you can swap all that gear around. It's beautiful. And with the latest updates, with the official Destiny app, you can even pick up bounties in orbit, sitting at home, doing nothing, and then you turn on Destiny and you're ready to go. So Dib and his friends are marvelous.
Well, thank you very much for that, Peroty. It was very informative.
You're very welcome.
And now we have a very special appearance by Not Arf in his Not Arf Ask Law.
Stalk thy prey and let loose thy talons upon the darkness. What is this feeling? I do not ask for it. I do not understand it. I do not want it. Crow is so carefree in his ignorance. The bonfire's glow lights up his pale features, and I am drawn to hope in his gold eyes. Where is this despairing child I anticipated? He drinks from an open bottle of wine against the recommendations of his ghost. The guardian encouraged him, and they were laughing. This celebration is maddening. Neither have reason to be so jubilant. Their world is ending, and they thrash like a dying creature in the final light of a collapsing star. They do not seem to acknowledge the futility to their existence, their impermanence of it in face of cosmic annihilation. Now the guardian is drinking, standing close to the fire. Their ghost, too, encourages them not to partake. They poison themselves for the enjoyment of it. I'm reminded of my sisters, moments spent by lapping shores, gazing up at infinite stars through possibilities and wonder. I'm left yearning. What is this feeling? I do not understand it. I do not want it. They are celebrating their victory over the Taken. The crow is making a gun shape with his hands, swinging the nearly empty bottle of wine around in the other like a sword. The guardian looks pensive, sitting on a rock by the fire, contemplating the secret they are keeping. Crow notices, tries not to show it. He wants the guardian's spirits to be lifted. He wants to be supportive so that they may share in their triumphs together as equals. I am reminded of my home. I'm reminded of the warmth of the sun and the embrace of my family. I'm reminded of my father's face. I'm reminded of everyone I betrayed. All the blood spilled in the name of immortality. Warmth of the sun burns me with its memory. What is this feeling? I do not want it. Fire has nearly died. The crow fell over and cannot stand, though he insists he is fine. The guardian is turning the embers with the tip of their sword. The ghosts are talking to one another in quiet conspiracy. The celebration has ended, but I can sense their emotions are mixed, complex, and a myriad of things when a simple singular focus would suffice. There is a growing kinship here, against better judgment. What is this feeling?
Okay, so how does that tie in with the Hawkmoon?
Is the lore off the Hawkmoon?
Yeah, but how does it tie into the gun? Is what he's asking, because I don't get the connection either.
What do you get from this piece of lore?
Nothing. Literally, absolutely nothing. He's just
So you get what's happened with the crow, basically.
Okay, so
well, he's getting a relationship with the Guardian,
Yeah.
is what I'm hearing,
Yep.
right? So yeah, He's having a good laugh with the Guardian. He's getting a bond with the Guardian, and even though even though Spider told him not to, he's doing it anyway.
No, this was before, isn't it?
No, this is with the Guardian.
Us. This is after he meets us.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I mean, I totally get that, but like,
look at this from another direction.
North?
Which perspective?
South.
Is that written in?
East.
Crows.
No, it got to be one of the ghosts.
Ghosts?
No, it's not, because it states the ghosts are talking.
Yeah, but
who is writing this law? Who is actually recollecting this?
If it's
site?
not Crow, then it's got to be a third person, right? Because it's not the Guardian. It's not the Guardian's ghost.
Now you're going in the right direction. Let me.
I'm confused at where we're going with this. Can't you just tell me?
I am reminded of my sisters, of moments spent by lapping shores, given at the instant stars, full of possibilities and possibilities of wonder.
So it sounds like he's bonding with us.
Wrath and Savathun?
Possibly. It's one of those two.
Okay.
The betrayal of their sisters. So that's got to be Savathun. I think this, it's not been confirmed, but from what I get from actually reading this is actually written by Savathun.
Okay.
That's why you continue to get, I do not want it. I do not understand it. What is this feeling?
Okay.
I'm reminded, and there's other bits in there. I'm reminded of my sisters.
Yes.
Reminded of my father's face. I'm reminded of everyone I betrayed. All the blood spilled in the name of immortality.
Okay. Now I get it. Yeah. Yeah, and we were celebrating after our victory with the Taken and finding the Hawkmoon. I get where this ties in now.
See? How dare you try to make us figure things out on our own?
I know.
But you understand it better when you figure it out by yourself, just with a few hints and tips.
No.
We sound like
I need to be carried by that. Yeah, well, I am.
Listeners,
let's not muddy the water here.
We're being shouted at even before we've even got to the question. Going, we know what it is. You two are stupid.
Yeah, probably.
Is it now time for tips, tricks, builds, and maybe a guide?
Ooh, guides. Love guides. All the guides. So many guides.
Or as it's quickly becoming known as the thing that Cheese Forever talked about last week that you can't do this week because they may have patched it.
Well, I have some tips, tricks, and guides and builds.
Oh, good. Can't forget the builds.
So I'll tell you them, and Nitedemon will explain.
For the low price of $9.99, you too can hear the tips, tricks, builds, and guides.
Cheese Forever, Insane Titans, AFK, Dawning Farm.
So this is Cheese Forever's Insane Dawning Farm for the Titans, and it requires you to go to the Shattered Throne dungeon and do various things, and you can basically go AFK and get various ingredients that Respawn was moaning about earlier that he couldn't get, but you have to be on a Titan.
Cheese Forever, Improved, or Lock AFK Dawning Farm.
So this is his Warlock version of the Titan build that if you want to check out, if you want to do solo AFK farming to get some ingredients for the cookies while you're not actually playing the game, Cheese has got that for you.
As to Cross Gaming, Unlimited Dawning, Ultimate Dawning Farm.
So this Ultimate Dawning Farm is based on the Cheese Forever video, and he goes one better with explaining what you can put on exotic wise with a Titan to get more ingredients and get more Dawning experience. So it's a bit more like, so it's like Respawn explained that it really benefits you if you've upgraded your ship to the best that you can do. So if you've done the exotic quest for the ship, that you get the Dawning Spirits, or so you get the Dawning Spirits whilst actually getting materials. So if you can do that first before you do some of the ultimate farming stuff, you'll be contributing to the community event and be able to generate a lot more materials for baking cookies.
As to Cross Gaming Ultimate Dawning Guide.
So this is if you are interested in learning all the different ingredients for the cookies. I know we posted the Houndish ones last week for 2018 and 2019, but this encompasses all the recipes that are available for this year, including the new ones and anything else you've kind of got questions on that we haven't gone over in the podcast.
Cool Guy
Glacier
Review and Breakdown.
So Cool Guy has done a really good review and breakdown of the Glacioclasm fusion rifle, going over some really good perks for it and pointing out a really good build for PvP and PvE.
Massive Breakdown Podcast, Dawning Weapon Breakdown.
So I found this was really interesting this week. Mercules and Kate Catcher basically break down the Avalanche, the Cold Front, and the Glacioclasm, and point out again like some really good rolls. And if you are still wanting to kind of farm for those, that was interesting.
Abby Hauer, Penguin, no 0.6. Number 6.
That's right. So, yeah. Like it says on the tin, Abby Hour's Penguin number 6. If you want to go and look for that, that's where she's got a video for that.
Abby Hauer, Eclipse Zone Drones.
So again, this is the Eclipse Zone drones that you can go and shoot. What I found out from doing this week is that once you've killed the guy that drops the node that you can collect, you can literally go to any zone in that area, I think, and kill the drones. Because I'd accidentally shot in the Nexus arena one of the previous weeks. So I'd shot one of the Nexus drones, then I'd gone on and done another section and killed the other 2 lots of drones. So what I found this week is that I could go and kill the 3rd lot of drones to get the Triumph to drop for the zone that I'd completely missed out on the first time, and then go back and kill the other 2 sets of drones, the Nexus, to get the other Triumph, so I didn't lose out. So I think once you've picked up the buff, you can then go to a zone, and as long as those drones are glowing yellow, you can shoot those. So I thought that was quite.
Fallout Plays Best DPS Weapon Loadouts for Fenix, one phrase.
So this is the video that Fallout was going to put out earlier on in the week, and he does note in it that Datto had beaten him to it, putting out a DPS video. So he still wanted to put out his video because he'd put a lot of work and time into it. So this shows you numbers of what's probably the best DPS to possibly one phase Tanix in the Deep Stone Crypt.
Fallout Plays Raid Challenge Guide number 1, Red Rover.
So you've done this week, haven't you, Reece?
What have I done this week?
You did the raid challenge this week, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And is it easy? Because Fallout Plays has got a good guide on it.
It is actually pretty easy if you've done the raid before. Like if you're just jumping into the raid and you have to learn the mechanics first, and then someone's like, "Oh, we're also doing the challenge," and no. Basically, everybody has to know how to do operator, and
don't tell people what to do.
Okay.
What do you get from it?
A second chest. With a second roll, you get a second powerful chest, I think, or it might be no, it's Pinnacle. Somebody said it was Pinnacle. Sorry, you get a second Pinnacle chest, and of something that you've already acquired. You won't get anything new from the second chest, but like you'll get a second Pinnacle drop from the chest. And I say somebody said it was Pinnacle because I'm already 1260, and they both came out 1260 for me. So,
yeah, you can't tell at that point.
Yeah. So somebody said they're both Pinnacle. So
that's cool.
Take it with a grain of salt.
So that's worth doing.
Patty Cakes Gaming, the number 1 way to improve at Destiny PvP, featuring sides.
Now, this was a really interesting video. It's about 45 minutes, but it's Patty Cakes Gaming discussing PvP tactics with sides. And they show you some of his gameplay while he's playing PvP, and then they show you some, as they're talking, like private match arenas, and positions and why he would take up a certain position and why he wouldn't engage at a certain distance he would do at this point if there was guardians here and there. And it was really, really good to listen to and watch what you can kind of expect. And I know we pointed out quite a lot of videos of, 10 tips to improve your PvP and your mindset on this. But this was really interesting to watch and listen to see how somebody approaches a gameplay and what kind of pitfalls that other players fall into. I think he talks about, like, there's a standard routine that some players or most players go through. They'll always run to a certain position, and what you want to kind of do to combat that, or if you're going to be doing this. And it takes you from kind of a basic new light player, which I found quite interesting. So somebody that's new, that's kind of getting into the game, and giving you kind of tips to kind of improve, to get to maybe improving in Destiny. Because as they say in the video, Destiny is its own kind of animal. It's something different to how you would play like Call of Duty, to how you play Counter-Strike, as they bring up. So I think there's a really good video for people to watch if they want to kind of PvP.
Warlock Holmes Salvation Breach 2.0.
So this I found quite funny. There was a patch earlier on this week where they patched the breaching of the door with the Salvation's Breach exotic grenade launcher, where you could place ice grenades on the floor and then above you and to the sides of you, and you could breach a door. You can still do it. I love these guys that they put these videos out. This is fantastic. You can do it on a Titan, the Ballistic Slam, and it works pretty much the same way as it did before. You place the icicles on the floor and the sides and above you, but then you use the Titan Ballistic Slam in kind of aim it at the floor to reverse through the, but check out the video to see how it's done.
Froggy61157725 Out of Bounds Reverse Last Wish Raid featuring Runless Petra's Run.
So this was really interesting. Froggy contacted us in our Discord this week, pointing this out. There's a triumph called Petra's Run, and this is doing the Last Wish raid flawless. Isn't this right, Respawn? Wait for Respawn to click his microphone on. Respond. No?
Where's
Respawn's gone to sleep.
Yes, it's flawless. Yes, it's flawless.
There you go.
He had
So
to pause
this-
this game first.
Yeah, he had to pause his game. So doing a flawless run, that means no guardians on the whole fire team must die from the first encounter right through to the last encounter. There was a diamond achievement for the scheduled pass. So in the raids, they have these triumphs that if you do it all flawlessly without dying, you get a special triumph. So there is a way of reversing the Last Wish raid to actually do a Petra's Run and get it for free. And this includes doing wall breaches, a lot of jumping from place to place. But what was really interesting in Froggy's video is he takes you through each encounter as he goes through it, from Riven through to the Ogre, jumping across without swords, way back to Callie, the first encounter, and then being summoned back to somebody holding the checkpoint at Riven, and even dying on the last encounter, but still getting the Petra's Run triumph to pop up. Really interesting. Even if you can't achieve it, it's just a really good video for you to kind of...
Hold on. In regards to that, sorry, I was actually outside. That's why I had to run in before. My headphones work, but my microphone unfortunately is still inside.
You could just see that guy. He's listening to it. So go, I know this one. I know this.
Right.
Running
but the Petra's Run thing, do it quickly, because the other thing that they had where you can get a flawless, the dungeon, Bungie just patched. So they're probably going to patch this pretty soon too. So hurry up and get it before Bungie patches it.
But what I'm saying is, even if you don't want to try and look at it, because like Froggy says, it's a bit of a cheat to kind of do this as a flawless run. It's really interesting to see where he's kind of going and how he's doing it to get through to do this in reverse. And it's interesting to see that you can actually do it in reverse.
That'll be Bungie's next challenge. Be like, do the raid, but backwards.
Let's not give them any
Just
extra
revive
ideas.
the
Okay.
boss. That's all you got to do.
Oh, they've done that one already. They've already played that one.
So, have you two got any questions for Peroty and Respawn before we go?
No.
I do.
Go on then. What's your question?
It's for Peroty. How pink is he?
The pinkest, my friend. The pinkest. I get a new armor piece or weapon, and I say, how good does this look pink? That's the question.
And one for Respawn.
Yeah.
What is his favourite subclass?
That's easy. Bottom tree stalker.
There you go. Bottom tree Night Stalker.
Yeah, because it does a lot of damage, and you can go invisible.
But Stasis is a very close second for Hunter. Very close.
Panic super.
One for Alexander. What's your favorite subclass?
What character are we talking about?
Any character, any subclass. What's your favorite?
I think probably bottom tree solar hunter.
Why is that?
Throwing knife.
Nice. Phoenix, what's your favorite?
Blade Barrage.
What do you like that one the most, Phoenix?
It's got so many knives, so I don't have to throw one knife at a time.
Hey, Phoenix, right now, I don't know if your dad showed you, but there's a build for your favorite subclass, okay? Which allows you to use your super and then get it back immediately. Every time.
Let me guess. Shards of Galanor?
Shards of Galanor is part of it. It's Shards of Galanor, but you also have to do 5 stacks of light and energy conversion. So you throw your blades, but before your blades land, you throw a grenade, which gives you half your super back. And then when you kill something with Shards of Galanor, you get the rest of it back.
But what shades of Galanor?
We're going to have to take a trip to Zer.
Shards of Galanor is a...
I have so many legendary shards. Like a million of them.
Yes.
Shards of
And I
Galanor,
need a little screen time now.
where you can get your super back faster for Blade Barrage. And Indy, what's your favorite build? Or favorite subclass?
Night Stalker.
Did he just tell you that?
No.
No, because she didn't know what the thing was called.
Top tree, middle tree, or bottom tree?
Top tree.
And one for you. How much do you like Sweet Business?
One for me, is that? It's the sweetest of business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it for this week. Those are our tips, tricks, guides, and builds.
We're going to do the outro now.
You're not doing the outro.
You just...
Oh, then, Peroty.
Time to
Do
go.
the outro.
Thank you for joining us. Your Titans, outnumbered, but not outgunned this week, are Peroty and Nitedemon. Your Hunter Brigade, led by no one responds in real life, is Alex, Indy, Phoenix, and Sparklearf. Your Lore Scribe, leading the charge into the darkness with all the books, is Not Arf. You can email the show at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. You can find the show on Twitter at twotitans_hunter. We're on Instagram at, you guessed it, friends, 2 Titans and a Hunter. We're on Facebook as well. We're on YouTube. We're everywhere you would want to find us. If you need raid help, go to the Guardian Hub or Guardian Downcast. They have Xboxes now. They're still more competent than we are. You can find all those good folks at lfg.frozen.party. We're here to offer raid hindrance, trials hurt, and giggling. Find all your favorite Guardians on Xbox Live, Respawn on PC. Watch the show on YouTube, listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and everywhere fine podcasts are sold. And now for the free-for-all. Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye! Bye! Hardy, I got one question.
No questions. Goodbye.
Are you really cat?
Go. Bye.
Hardy!
Am I wearing pants? Yes, I am wearing pants. It's important to record podcasts with pants on.
While he's looking that up, for the kids out there, did any of y'all play Destiny 1?
Yes.
No.
Alex?
Well, Dad, you had me play it.
Well,
I didn't play that much.
so yes, no, and because I had to. I like it.
No, not because he had to. He enjoyed playing it. Don't let him.
I did.
That's what it sounds like.
Uh-huh.
He says, son, you can have dinner once you get Dad's character up another 10 levels. That's just the agreement we made.
See, I wish it was like that, but most of the time it was me jumping on his account to get his character leveled up, man.
Yeah, but now you want me to get on your account and do Crucible stuff for you.
Oh, cool down.
Now,
It's only because everybody
now
knows
I see where all those
just
screenshots
like-
came from with all his high KD and his kill streaks and all that. Now it all makes sense.
It's not just me that gets the son to play for.
No, to date, he has yet to actually do it. He just
Like
he's
we,
telling me,
like
no, he
we
says,
know.
Dad, you
All
have
we
to
see is
earn it.
numbers.
Dad, you have to
You
earn it.
word
Mhm.
to the child saying, "Dad's making me play Crucible."
I know. I'm not gonna get on your account just because you
See?
told me to.
See,
You're not
son
my
is
dad. Oh,
fine. My son will get on my account and play for me.
You're not my dad. Yes, I am. Well, you can't make me. Yes, I can.
Yes, you're not my
Well,
son, are you? You're Peroty's
I'm not
son.
gonna.
Oh, no. I'm running Parody's son for the show.
Okay, just for the show.
I'll
You'll
have
get
to
on
break the
my
news to my
account.
wife. She'll be confused.
And thrilled. No, but how does it tie into the gun? Is what he's asking, because I don't get the connection
Yeah.
either.
I have no idea. I don't write the lore. This is the lore tab on the Hawkmoon.
What do we employ you for?
You don't employ me, I volunteer.
We hope that you have a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
And happy holidays and Hanukkah and all
It's
of
the last day
the
of Hanukkah. On the recording, it's the last day of
non-offensive-
Hanukkah, I believe.
is it? Okay.
I have no idea about anything else.
Trying to be
apart from
all
Christmas and
inclusive.
presents.
We don't want anybody to be left out.
Sorry, I know at least one Jewish person. They told me. Hi, Orchid.
Hi, Orchid. Huh?
Just saying hello, Orchid.
Oh, hi. Okay. See, no,
Hi,
no.
Orchid.
I-
He thought you said hi or kid.
No, I thought he said hi, Orchid, like it's some kind of like
be going
Jewish
all
word
Mankin
for like
saying
happy
Orchid. The kid.
Hanukkah or something. I don't know, man. I thought he was
Our
like,
kid, yeah. Our kid.
Hi, Darkid.
It's our kid.
you know what? I hate all of you. I'm going.